Today, we're diving into the heart of India. Now, this is a country so huge and diverse, it can feel, almost impossible to wrap your head around. So instead of trying to tackle it with maps or statistics, we're going to do something different. We're going to explore it through a few distinct personal stories.
Which, of course, brings us to the big question, right? In a country of over 1 billion people, with literally thousands of years of history, how do you even begin to capture its essence? Where on earth do you start?
Well, the answer, as our source material suggests, is actually pretty simple. You do it through its stories. Not one single grand narrative, but a collection of small, vibrant glimpses into the lives that make up the whole.
So, our guides for this little journey are 3 short stories, and each one paints a picture of a completely different part of India. We're going to head to the sunny shores of Goa, the misty hills of Coorg, and the massive tea fields of Assam.
Right?
First up, Goa. And no, we're not just talking about the famous beaches. We're talking about a living legacy of Portuguese influence that you can still taste today, and it's all thanks to the traditional village baker.
So, the local name for these bakers is Potter, and this isn't just a job for them, it's a family legacy, passed down from father to son. Even though the Portuguese left a long, long time ago, the Potters and their old-school furnaces are still a huge part of Goan life.
What's really incredible is just how central bread is to the entire culture here. It's not just something you have for breakfast. Marriage gifts, they're considered kind of meaningless without a special sweet bread called bali. A party isn't a party without bread. A daughter's engagement absolutely requires sandwiches, and don't even get me started on Christmas without its cakes and bolignese.
This quote from the source just sums it all up, doesn't it? The baker wasn't just some guy selling bread. They were an absolutely essential part of the community, woven into every celebration and every milestone.
And this is a great little detail that shows the blend of old and new. Back in the Portuguese days, the potter had this very distinct single-piece frock called a cabai. Today, the uniform has changed to a shirt and trousers, but the job and its importance has stayed exactly the same.
And hey, it was a good living. The text makes it clear that baking was a very profitable business. The baker and his family, well, they never starved. In fact, their plump physique was basically seen as public proof of their success. So much so that even today, a person with a jackfruit-like physical appearance might get playfully compared to a baker.
All right, from the warm coasts and the comforting smell of fresh bread in Goa, we're making a big jump. We're headed to the cool, misty hills of Coorg in Karnataka, a place that's famous for 3 things: its coffee, its fierce warriors, and its absolutely breathtaking landscape.
I mean, come on, how could you not want to go there after hearing a description like that? The author paints this incredible picture of rolling hills, lush rainforests, and an air that literally smells of fresh coffee. The people of Coorg, the Kodavus, are known for being fiercely independent, and they have this fascinating, almost mysterious origin. One theory actually suggests they're of Greek descent. The story goes that a part of Alexander the Great's army moved south, found it impossible to get back, and just settled down for good.
But wait, there's a competing theory, one that points to an Arabic origin. And the main piece of evidence for this one is their traditional dress. They wear this long black coat with a fancy embroidered waist belt called a kufiya, which apparently looks a lot like the keffiyeh worn by Arabs and Kurds.
So whatever their origin story is, one thing is for sure, their martial tradition is legendary. The Coorg Regiment is one of the most decorated in the entire Indian Army. In fact, the very first chief of the Indian Army, General Kardiappa, was a Corgi. Their legacy is so respected that even today, Kodavus are the only people in India allowed to carry firearms without needing a license. But Coorg isn't just a place for history buffs. Nope, it's also a modern-day paradise for adrenaline junkies. The rugged terrain is absolutely perfect for all kinds of high-energy adventures, like river rafting, rock climbing, and mountain biking. It's attracting a whole new kind of visitor. Okay, for our final glimpse, we're traveling way up to the northeast into the lush green landscapes of Assam. This is a journey right into the heart of what's simply known as tea country. To really get the scale of what we're talking about here, just look at this number. According to our text, over 80 crore, that's 800 million cups of tea are drunk every single day across the globe. And let me tell you, Assam is a massive, massive part of that story.
Our source describes what it's like to arrive here, seeing it all from a train window. And at first, the view was just overwhelming. It's just green, green everywhere, stretching on for what seems like forever.
But then, slowly, the landscape starts to shift. The familiar sight of paddy fields begins to disappear, and they're replaced by something totally different. These neat, orderly rows of tea bushes. And then you get this, the big payoff. The view just transforms into what can only be described as a sea of tea bushes, stretching all the way to the horizon with these beautiful, densely wooded hills in the background. It's just a magnificent, incredible sight.
And we're not just talking about a few pretty fields here and there. This is Assam, which has the largest concentration of tea plantations anywhere in the world. As the author says, it's a sight that could last you a lifetime.
So, okay, let's pull back for a second. We've had 3 very different snapshots, right? A nostalgic baker in Goa, a proud warrior in Coog, and an endless sea of tea in Assam. So what happens when we connect these dots? What does it all tell us? We have a baker who's preserving Portuguese traditions, a warrior whose family might have come from Greece, and a tea planter who's fueling a global habit. What's the common thread here?
It shows us that you just can't define a place like India with a single image or a simple explanation. Its true heart and soul, the real thing, lies in this incredible diversity, in the beautiful mosaic of its many distinct, vibrant, and completely unforgettable worlds, each one with its own amazing story to tell.